Hello everyone, how are you doing? It's James Foley here. I'm a children's writer and illustrator from Perth in Western Australia. I really hope that you've been able to join us here on Facebook and YouTube for this double live streamed book-launch-a-PALOOZA. It's something I've never done before, so hopefully we can have some fun today. We've got lots of great stuff planned for you today. Some special guests, some great friends from over east who I can't go and hang out with this year because of all the stuff that's been happening, but we'll bring them in soon. Now, the two books that I've had launched, or that we're going to launch today, Chickensaurus, which is a little bit bigger in real life than this. And also there's something weird about LENA, which is over here. And one is a graphic novel, this one over here. It's 200 pages long. And this one over here, there's something weird about LENA, is the follow-up to My Dead Bunny, which is a creepy, funny picture book for older readers you might have read a couple of years ago, perhaps. All right, now, if you are on YouTube, just a heads up that you will not be able to add comments because my YouTube channel is a kids channel. They don't allow comments. So if you want to add some comments, then head over to the Facebook launch so that you can add some things on. So if you want to find us on Facebook, here is the link. It's facebook.com/James Foley Books. Very easy to find. Also, if you're on Facebook and you're putting in a comment, it may ask if StreamYard, which is the software I'm using for this live stream, it may ask if StreamYard could have your name and your photo. The only reason it's asking for that is just so that when your comment pops up on my screen here, I can actually see who's saying what. So if you want to add a comment, please just say, yes, StreamYard can have your name and photo, just so we can see who's speaking. Otherwise, it will just say Facebook user. And I mean, that will be fun, but it'd be nice to actually see your face and know your name. And if you're joining us by watching this recording after the fact, too, welcome to the recording. Hopefully we've had some fun and we haven't made complete fools of ourselves. Let's get started. So I've actually just seen a couple of comments just pop up. Michelle Nye says, congratulations on these new books. Thank you, Michelle. It's lovely to see you. I hope you're well over in Victoria. Kat Davey, hello. Thank you for joining us, Kat. It's welcome. Lovely to see you both. Okay, now, let's have a look at the first book. Now, the first book is called Chickensaurus. We're going to have a look at this one first. It is something I'm very proud of. It's 200 pages long. It's completely ridiculous. And I'm going to show you a few little things about it here. Before we do, though, I've done a bunch of books, of course. I've done a bunch of graphic novels. I've done a bunch of picture books. You may have seen The Last Viking Returns a while back. I did a great series over the last 2 years with Tim Harris called Toffel Towers. Tim is a fantastic writer, and we did 3 of those books so far. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we get to do a 4th, because I know Tim's got some fantastic ideas about what to do with that 4th one. And if you've read book 3, you know it ended on a little bit of a cliffhanger. Potentially, something could happen in book 4, which will be very, very fun to do. Now, the book Chickensaurus is actually based on this series here, S. Tinker Inc. Sally Tinker Incorporated is what it stands for. Sally Tinker is the world's foremost inventor under the age of 12. And the first book was called Brobot, where Sally tries to replace her baby brother with a giant robot. And of course, it goes completely nuts. Book 2 is called Dungzilla, and they have a growth ray that accidentally zaps a dung beetle, and it becomes a giant Dungzilla monster and rolls a giant ball of dung towards their town. Book 3 is called Gastronauts, and in this one we have Sally and Charlie go in a tiny microscopic submarine into the human body, and they go inside baby Joe's body. And it's very easy to get inside the human body. They just get swallowed in a glass of water, but it's a lot harder and grosser to get out of the body. So let's just say the end of that book is literally the end. Book 4, Chickensaurus, here has just come out just 3 weeks ago, and it's basically Jurassic Park with chickens. I'm really, really excited about this book. I'm very proud of it. Put a lot of effort into it, and I really, really, really hope that you like it. I'm going to show you the book trailer, just to give you a sense of what it's about, and then I'm going to read you some of the early reviews. So let me show you the book trailer over here. Voila. That was my very ridiculous book trailer. That'll give you a sense of what's going on here. Dexter Maelstrom is Sally's nemesis, and he has invented a de-evolving ray that can turn chickens into dinosaurs. And so we have some very strange creatures there, and they all get loose, and Sally and her friends have to stop them from eating everybody. A couple of other comments have just popped up. Adeline, thank you for joining us, Adeline. Say hi to the kids for us. Thanks for coming along today. And Renee says, yay, Daddy, love Matty. Oh, thank you, son. Thank you. Chris Kennett's joining us. Congratulations. Looking forward to sitting down with my copy. Begurk. Begurk indeed, Chris. Begurk indeed. Thank you for joining us. And Lisa says, very cool book trailer. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for joining us today. I hope that you're well, wherever you are. Okay, let's have a look at some behind-the-scenes stuff on this book. Actually, I do have a few early reviews, so let's have a look at those. These are not reviews, though, from humans. These are reviews from celebrity chickens. So let's have a look at what these celebrity chickens have to say. Wingo Star says it's worth crossing the road for. Thank you, Wingo. Everyone's scrambling to get a copy. Princess Leia. Thank you, Princess Leia. It'll leave you feeling sunny side up. Attila the Hen. Thank you, Attila. I really appreciate it. Jennifer Lopez says everything it's cracked up to be. Thank you, Jennifer. John Hammond Eggs says the author has spared no expense. That's a deep cut Jurassic Park reference for anyone out there. Had me so excited, I nearly flipped out. Barack Obama. And my personal favorite, exceeded my wildest expectations, Arnold Schwarzenegger. So really appreciate it, Arnold. Thank you, buddy. Thanks, mate. Now, I'm going to show you a little behind the scenes stuff on this too. So when I'm making a comic like this, it takes a long, long time. I start with tiny, tiny little sketchy roughs. Well, actually, I start with like a script. I write it out like a movie script to begin with, but then I go to little tiny sketchy roughs like this. Every page in the book, I'll do a tiny scribbly rough. And each rough is actually only about this big. Yeah, really, really tiny. That's 2 pages worth just there. Now, because it's 200 pages, I have to do about 100 of these drawings, but because the first version of each one is a bit rubbish, I end up doing about 200 or 300 of these drawings all up. Okay, so this one here, I'll then blow off a bit bigger till I get it to the right sort of dimensions of what the pages need to be in the book. And then I'll trace over the top of it to get kind of a rough, cleaner rough of what's going to go where. This rough here shows Sally and Charlie and Joe walking through the gates of the grounds of a mansion. And we can see some statues. We can see the mansion in the distance. I'll go over the top of that in a bit more detail, just clean things up, rotate things, resize things. So you can just see I've just cleaned up the characters. I've cleaned up the statues. I've rotated the mansion around a little bit so it doesn't look like it's falling off a cliff. And then I'll go over the top of this again and do the outlines. I'll add the shades of gray. I'll add the speech bubbles, the words, all that other stuff. And then we'll end up with the final bit of artwork like this. So let me show you another example. This one here, this is a tiny scribble rough. This is for a part in the story where Dexter is demonstrating his de-evolving ray. So this is then the cleaned up rough where I'm actually figuring out where the panels are going to go, making sure the characters are on model, which means they look consistent with their design, how they're supposed to look. Then I'll add the outlines, the shades of gray, little special effects and words and speech bubbles and stuff. And then we end up with this. So we can see Dexter up the top left here. Goodbye, little chick. Cheep, cheep, cheep. And then zap. Ping, ping, pong. Hello, chicken dinosaur. Grrr. That there is a Velocirooster, just a baby version. And they're not too dangerous on their own. They'll give you a good nibble. But if you see a whole swarm of them, a whole flock, then you're going to be in a bit of trouble. Better run as fast as you can. This is another little tiny scribble rough. But as we trace over the top of it, you can see that it is about Dexter revealing his grown-up dinosaurs in his backyard. And here is a more detailed rough, just figuring out a bit more of the architecture of the house, trying to make sure that's all consistent. Things like steps are really hard to draw in perspective, so it's better to do a really clean rough of that sort of stuff. And then that's our final bit of artwork. I really loved having these little statues of Dexter here all throughout it's his parents' house, really, but somehow, because he's the favorite son, there's statues of him everywhere, playing a lyre and being a cupid in the fountain and various things. You can just see the top right-hand corner here too, a bit of a hedge maze. And that's there because it's foreshadowing what's going to happen in a couple of scenes' time in this story. I'll give you a little sneak peek of that now. This is a little scribble rough to figure out what's going to happen when Sally and Charlie and Joe get chased through the hedge maze. Here is a cleaner rough. Here's a bit more detail. And then here is the final version. So these are these flocks of Chickensaurus, of Velociroosters that I was mentioning before. As you can see, they would be quite devastating. They were devastating to draw. Took a long time to draw these little guys, little fluffy ankle biters. And that's giving you a little sneak peek of what the book is about. Jurassic Park with chickens, Chickensaurus. It's heaps of fun. I hope you can get a copy and have a good giggle with it. Now, I've got a very special guest waiting in the waiting room here. His name, I won't give you his name straight away. He is the fantastic best-selling author of the Exploding Ending series, as well as Mr. Bambuckle's Remarkables and Toffle Towers, which has a fantastic illustrator, if I do say so myself. His name is Tim Harris. Please give him a big round of applause. Tim Harris.
Hey, good morning, James. How are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I want you to speak like Arnie. That had me actually cracked up. And then I was worried that my microphone was off mute. I thought, oh, can the audience hear that? Because I also might have let one rip in the excitement of the day. But yeah, I just want to hear more Arnie. And I'm sure, it was so nice to see people's names popping up. Michelle, Kat, Lisa, Adeline, Renee, Chris. They want to hear some more Arnie as well. In fact, in the comments, can you please demand some more Arnie? Because that was impressive, James Foley.
Thank you. Very good. It's good to be here with you. It's excellent. Very good. Okay, we've got some more comments here. Aura says, congrats on the new book. Thank you, Aura. Thanks for coming along. Marie Whiteley says, incredible to see the stages of a creative process. Thank you, Marie. And Jill says, impressive breakdown, James. And says, Tim Harris as well. So you've got a fan there, Tim.
And look, Jill wants to hear more voices as well, James. What else have you got up your sleeve?
Oh my goodness, what else do I have? We both like doing an old-timey newsreader voice too, don't we?
I forgot. That's right. We had this amazing bonding moment last year. I think in the car we were talking about maybe we were talking about the weird talents in Toffle Towers, and we got talking about our own weird talents. So
yes.
Shall we? Because I think you should do it, James, because it's your special day. So I'll introduce this, and then you can let rip with the
fantastic.
Okay. So most people, when you're growing up, you sort of muck around with voices, and Daffy Duck is like the classic one that every kid tries to do in the playground, or Bart Simpson or whatever. But James Foley worked out that he could impersonate a 1930s newsreader. James, when you're ready.
Here we have Tim Harris, best-selling author of the Exploding Ending series. I don't know if his ending has exploded. I do not want to look down. Perhaps that is why these screens only show from the chest up. That is a very good idea that we do not see any further down to see his exploding ending.
That is so good. So good. Well, James, it was a real thrill reading Chickensaurus. I loved it. In fact, true story, just on the way down to my office this morning, I was holding this because I'd sort of been keeping it in my bedroom, so I've been reading it at night time. And when my oldest son, Clancy, saw it, he sort of stopped me, and I said to him, oh, yeah, we're doing the launch this morning. And then I said, as soon as the launch is finished, I'll give it to you. Now, my son Clancy's a pretty quiet kid. He doesn't usually express emotion, but no joke, he did a little fist pump and went, yes. And I've actually never seen him do that before. So not for anything, not even when our favorite footy team wins. So that was a really nice. He loved it.
Excellent. Thank you. That's wonderful. Give him my best.
So look, James, I thought I'd surprise you with a bit of a quiz.
Oh, okay. Do I have to answer the quiz?
Well, look, I think you might know some of the answers, but I reckon we should have a quiz where the watchers or viewers can actually have a stab at answering some of them if they can. Now, it is multiple choice, and so there'll be a bit of time to think, a bit of time to get answers in. But viewers, if you're ready for this, we're going to see how well fans know James Foley. There's Chickensaurus. What a cracking cover. How well do fans know James Foley? Okay.
All right.
Now, question number one. We're going to go right back to the beginning. What came first, the egg or the James? So we'll get to I thought I can't take credit for this, but I saw someone had a cracking one-liner on. It was like a meme floating around a little while ago. It said, I ordered a chicken and an egg from eBay. Yeah, okay. So that's got nothing to do with where you were born. So where was James born? We have four options. Option A is The hospital where his mother worked as a nurse, which is definitely feasible. Option B, the maternity hospital next door to his house. Now that's tough. Those two are going to be very tough to differentiate. Okay, option C, an army hospital on the outskirts of town. That was just down the road from the this is the worst joke I've ever said. Just down from the Leggy Hospital. Oh no.
From the what?
From the Leggy Hospital. I'm really sorry, everyone. And option D, you've got to say this slowly, is a hospital.
My mum has fantastic balance, but you know, I'm just not sure. That would be quite a drop for the baby off the side of the horse poodle.
Puns. They just, just puns. They're making me laugh. I'm blushing now. Okay. So guys, get your votes in. You feel free just to put the letter because it will save you some time, and we'll see if anyone gets the correct answer. How are the comments looking there, James? Have we got anyone guessing? Otherwise, I can do a reveal.
Oh, we've had an extra one come in from Nat Amoore. She said Mars, and then she said, "Oops, it's multiple choice. Sorry."
That is fantastic.
Lisa Scott says A is my answer, and Kat Davies says, "When in doubt, go for D." A poodle horse, really? Adeline says A. Megan Light says A. It looks like the A's have it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh no, but actually, Nat says C. And Ruth Humphreys says B. Only one B so far. Everyone else has said A or C.
Okay. And do you know what? Do you know who the winner is? Ruth Humphreys. Absolutely brilliant. She's off to she's got the lead. 1-0. It's 1-0. Well done, Ruth.
She's off to the races on a horse poodle.
Yes, maybe that's a bit of punspiration for you. Okay, let's get to question two. Question two. What is James Foley's favourite food? Okay, option A is Supreme Pizza. And look, Supreme Pizza is a very popular choice with a lot of people. So I'm thinking maybe that one. Option B is vegetarian pizza. And I do remember perhaps maybe talking to you about vegetarianism at one stage, unless that was imagination. Option C, we have seafood pizza. Now, of course, you live in the beautiful west of Australia where there is such delicious seafood. So that makes a lot of sense. And option D is the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Boom, boom. That was quite good. I'm a bit worried about the books, just because they're going to get tomato sauce on them. Okay.
That's right.
Guys, get your answers in. See if anyone can catch up to Ruth, who's out. In fact, I should probably be keeping score of these.
Okay, Jules Faber is first off the mark. He says B, vegetarian pizza.
Nice one. I think it's
Liz Ledden says C, seafood pizza. Megan Light says D, Leaning Tower of Pizza. Lisa Scott says B. Adeline Chiang says C, seafood pizza.
Okay. We'll go.
Nat Amoore says C, gross blah. I hope it's not that. I'll go B. Chris Kennett said, a couple of people have said A. Ruth Humphreys has said A. Yep. Louise Brooks has said A. Chris Kennett has said A.
Yeah.
Kat Davies said B. What's the answer, sir? What is the answer?
I'm just so impressed with how many people are firing in those answers. And some really amazing people. I have to say, I agree with Nat. C is like seafood and pizza. The only seafood I like is when it's normal food and you open your mouth and so people can see it. The answer, I'll tell you what, Ruth Humphreys, you are on fire. The answer is Supreme. That's incredible.
I think Ruth's been doing her research.
Looking over my shoulder, but that's some good research, Ruth. Okay, so far we have a very clear winner. Let's go to question number 3. Question 3. What is, this was a fun one to research, guys. What is James Foley's middle name? Is it A, Desmond? Is it B, Reverend? I love your reaction to that one, Mr. Foley. Is it C, Redmond? Is it D,
James Eggman Foley?
Oh, brilliant stuff. I just did the whole Google search for Eggman, and then it came up. Sonic's nemesis is Eggman, apparently, but apparently it wasn't Eggman. They changed his name. Is that? I'm not a big Sonic fan, so I'm not 100% sure. But
anyway, I think he's Dr. Robotnik as well, but he's also known as Eggman. It's like a double thing.
Yep, that's the one that popped up. Okay, what do we think? I think we're going to have a split between two answers here. Let's see. Should we put Ruth's up first?
Ruth hasn't answered this one, but Nat Amoore was the first one to answer. She said butt face. Butt face. And then she went, oh, oops, multiple choice. Sorry, Nat. Yeah, okay. All right. Kat Davies says A, Desmond. Ruth Humphreys says A, Desmond. Louise Brooks says A, Desmond. Liz Ledden says C, Redmond. Jill says, I want to say D, but it's likely a C. What does Ruth say? I'm wondering if I pull up the blind here next to me, if just Ruth is going to be outside the window, just going.
I was checking over my shoulder before. I thought, where is she? Let's get to the answer, because this one, it would surprise me. The answer is C.
Hang on a second. The comments are coming so quickly. I can't even go and hide the comments that have popped up on the screen. My goodness. Okay. The answer is.
It's just say, and the chip company will feel like they've sponsored CC's. Redmond. Okay,
Redmond.
James, can you tell us? Are you named after someone for Redmond, or is it?
I asked my dad actually about that. I said, is there a meaning behind it? Am I named after some long lost relative or something? And he went, no.
just like the name.
He said, I just like the sound of it. I don't even know where he got it from, but yeah. James Redmond Foley. My name is Foley. James Redmond Foley. That's my name.
Question 4. Here we go. And by the way, I think Liz Ledden might have got that one right. Well done, Liz, and hope you're
well done, Liz.
Question number 4. This is James had to be honest for this when he was asked to let me know his worst habit. Okay.
Well, actually, I'll qualify that. It's what is James Foley's worst habit that we could mention in public is what we've answered. Yes.
Yep. Got it. Yes. Is it A? So picking his nose. That's a good one to mention in public. Is it B? Picking on his nose. Oh, you stupid nose.
You're so smelly, nose.
Yeah, stop smelling. Is it C, being nosy? And I decided to put a picture of James in after Book Week, because Book Week has that effect on authors and illustrators around us, and he gets a bit paranoid. And also,
I think I go that grey after Book Week too.
Is it C, being nosy, or is it D, thinking he has more time to do things, but actually not having enough time? All right, let's get those answers in. This might be a bit of a freebie to those who are yet to break the duck, yet to break the chicken egg, so to speak.
Nats just mentioned, was I named after the guy from Red Faces on Hey Hey It's Saturday? His name was Redmond, wasn't it? Or I think it was.
Yeah, and hopefully Nat doesn't pull the gong out. Yes.
Okay, so Louise says D. Jill says that's a picture of Ruth looking through the blinds at me.
Well played, Jules.
Okay, so who else have we got? Lots of people saying D. Michelle Nye says C. She thinks I'm being nosy. I'll keep that in mind next time, Michelle. I'll try to be less nosy. I think the answers are pretty clear on this one, Tim.
Yeah, it is the D's. Well done.
Everyone's saying D.
Tell us very quickly about this, James. Is it a deadline problem? Is it a scheduling, or is it just any task, even making breakfast?
I think I was a pretty bad procrastinator as a kid, leaving things to the last minute. But I've gotten a lot better at it over the years. Though I think I'm known for asking for a little extra time on deadlines occasionally, and I think perhaps even some editors who I work with take that into account and tell me the deadline is a month before when it actually is. Perhaps
because this actually comes out in 2021, doesn't it?
It does, exactly right.
All right, let's head to question 5 because we do have 4 more questions to get through. Okay, question number 5. What is James Foley's ideal? This should have said where. So that's a Tim Harris typo. Where is James Foley's ideal holiday destination? Is it A, southern Italy? Is it B, South Island of New Zealand? Is it C, South Africa for safari? This is a really tough question. Or is it D, the southwest of southern South Australia, when the southerlies simultaneously sink slowly from the South Pacific Ocean towards the southeast corner of southern Queensland in summer?
That is incredibly specific. It's incredibly specific.
Yeah, a bit alliterative as well. And there's one of the illustrations from Jade. No, it's not. I had to pinch that one from the internet. All right, what do you think, guys? What do you reckon?
Michelle says D.
Well, probably in 2020, it's the most realistic, isn't it? With quarantine rules and things.
Does anyone else have an idea?
Well, look, let's go for a quick reveal for this one. So we can...
All right, let's go for it.
Again. Okay, so this one, the answer is actually answer A. And James, have you ever been to southern Italy?
Yes, yeah. My wife and I went in 2015 in the year BC, before children. And we got to go to the Bologna Book Festival as well while we were there in Italy. It was fantastic. And yeah, Napoli was amazing. You know, the food in Napoli is fantastic. And Napoli is very much like, it has a similar feel to Fremantle because they're both port towns full of fishermen. Lots of Neapolitan Italians came to Fremantle. So it kind of felt like home away from home in a way. It was quite odd to be in another country and feel kind of at home. Yeah,
nice one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to question 6. What did James and Tim talk about during their book signing tour in 2019? We had a lovely time driving around between bookstores and getting to know each other even better. Was it A, baseball? And anyone who's spoken to me this year knows how obsessed I've become with baseball. Is it B, music? Is it C?
Oh my goodness.
That's right. So we had this crazy photo conversion thing. Not only did the photo turn landscape and turn the other way and shrink, but somehow during the conversion, James started wearing my hat. That is how that works. So the plotline of Chickensaurus, which is of course very feasible given that Chickensaurus has come out around this time of the year, or was it D, the Colonel Sanders secret herbs and spices? Because Kentucky Fried Chickensaurus would be incredible. Massive scale. Okay, does anyone have an idea for question 6?
All right, I think we had Louise Brooks says, I think these questions have gone south in reference to our previous one. Well done, Louise. Okay, so Megan Light says A, baseball. Kat Davies says, my imagination in COVID time, which has, yes, been off the charts, I think. Jules says, we just talked in old-time newsreader voices. Megan Light says, oh, actually, I'm not sure which one Megan was answering. Maybe she was answering B, music. Chris Kennett says B.
Well, I think
Michelle Nye says B.
Yeah.
Jules Faber says, Lisa Scott says, all of the above. I think you covered everything. And Jules says B as well. I think most people are saying B. Liz Ledden said B. Adeline says A, baseball.
Liz
what is the answer, sir?
The answer is B. It's music. We had a good chat about music, didn't we?
We did.
But we won't go into too many details because Chris Kennett can fill you in pretty much on everything that we like as well. We will go to question 7. Question 7, this one is totally Chickensaurus related. What is the biggest twist in Chickensaurus? Is it A, when Sally Tinker reveals she's an alien? Is it B, when it's revealed that James Foley didn't actually illustrate the book, Nat Amoore is the real illustrator? Is it C, when everyone turns into toadstools because there is not much room to hide from Chickensauruses?
Oh my gosh.
Or it's D, none of the above. You'll have to read it for yourself.
All right.
Guys,
What is the answer? Jules says he was dead the whole time. Nat says, hint, I'm the worst drawer ever.
That's now we can eliminate one.
Michelle says D. Jules says D, and really the only person whose opinion matters in this situation, Ruth Humphreys says D.
Yeah. Now, if Liz said D as well, I think Ruth and Liz go to 3-all.
Do they really?
Well, actually, there might maybe someone else has gone to 3. I should have been writing down, but yes, the answer is D.
It is D. Oh, sorry. There it is.
Okay, final
There was
question.
another good comment here too, Tim. I just got to bring it up. Kat said the biggest twist was James's knickers when deadlines came. Yes, that is correct.
Almost the best comment. I tell you what, it just goes, like, in all seriousness, it just shows you how fast the minds are of the people who support kids lit, the people who write the kids lit, the people who encourage their kids to read. These comments are brilliant. Okay, excellent. Final question of the quiz, question 8. How many of the Chickensauruses' teeth are showing on the cover of Chickensaurus?
I don't even know the answer to this.
Oh, cool. Okay, so there's the cover, so people can. It says A, the cover is deliberately tiny to stop you from trying to count them. Is it B, no Google searches allowed? Is it C, if you already own the book, you might be able to quickly count? Now, this will also make James Foley very pleased, and he might just sign it for you next time you see him. Is it D, 13? Is it E? Is it E? We do have an E for this one. C. C and D. And the worst joke ever. Oh, I can't do it. You might have to read it.
All right. Oh dear. How do you pronounce that, Tim?
Oh man, that was just so much fun. Okay, I think you can see this is clearly the last question. As Louise Brooks said, the questions did very quickly head south. Let's get our final questions in, our final poll in, and we'll see if we do have a correct answer for this one. Okay.
Liz says E.
Yeah, Liz has been playing this very well.
Ruth says D. Nat says, Google says, huh? What are you talking about? I say E. Lisa says D. Kat says E. Michelle says D. Louise says, Leanne says, Leanne's comment didn't come through. Leanne says she's still thinking about it. Louise says E. Jules says B. The answer is, of course,
E. It is both C and D. If you already have the book, that is fantastic. It is a book that I say, pick it up, get it for your kids, put it on the shelves at school. My kids can't wait to get it, James Foley. Thank you for doing the quiz, everyone.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for joining us here today. I really, really appreciate it, especially on a Sunday morning. Can we all give Tim a virtual round of applause from wherever we are? Thank you, Tim. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to seeing the next guest as well.
Yes, me too. Thank you. So say hi to the kids for me.
I will do. There's some pretty cool, like there's a bit of a twist in the next guest. I won't give it away. I'm not going to give it away.
Potentially. Potentially.
Okay.
I just hope that Nat's okay. I got kind of a pained sort of text message from her just earlier asking for help, and there was sort of screams and snarls in the background, and I don't know what that was about. So hopefully she's all right. We'll just kind of see what happens. Thanks, mate. We'll see you soon.
Thanks so much. See you later.
See ya. That was Tim Harris, everybody. Tim is a great mate. It's been fantastic to work on books with him. Now, before we move on to LENA, I wanted to do a quick drawing exercise with you. So if you would like to try learning to draw one of the characters from Chickensaurus with me, let's have a go, hey? Because it's not too hard. All you need is a piece of paper and a lead pencil, and that's all you need. So let's just switch over to my document camera here. Here we are. And I'm going to get a piece of paper and I'm going to show you how to draw the little velociroosters because they're really, really easy to draw. So all you need, as I said, is a piece of paper and a lead pencil, which I have here. Now, the Chickensaurus, the little velocirooster, is very simple, made of very simple shapes. All we need to do to start with is start with a basic circle sort of shape. Can you kind of see that? I'm just doing it very lightly at first, just getting the basic shapes down before I start putting some more detail on the top. So then a beak goes here. That's a triangle shape. And then we have a tail, which is a curvy shape at the opposite end to the beak, because that's where tails usually go. The legs are going to go down here, and there's going to be an eyeball in there. That's all you need to do to map out first. Now, I'm actually going to go over the top of this with some little waterproof markers here. But if you don't have like a felt tip pen or a ballpoint pen, you can just go over the top a bit darker with your pencil, and that'll be fine. That'll work really easy. Okay, let's do the eyeball first because it's the soul of the character, isn't it? Let's have an angry eyebrow coming down over that eyeball. And then we'll put the eye here. And then we'll give it a long reptilian pupil like this. Fantastic. We'll do the beak next. It was so much fun to design these characters, and they were basically the first character that I designed for the book, apart from, of course, you know, Sally and Joe and Charlie, who were already designed for other books. This was the first of the chicken dinosaurs that popped up in my sketchbook, just when I was mucking around having fun. Okay, now, to do the outside edge of the Chickensaurus, the velocirooster, we're not going to do a solid line. We're going to do lots of little lines all the way around. Excuse me, which makes it look all fluffy. And then we're going to do a wing here, and then we're going to do some more fluffy bits here. Okay, now we're going to put 3 crests on top of his head, and they're very easy to draw. Just 3 blobby shapes going up there. We are going to do the tail next. So let's follow the outlines of this tail, but we're going to add another line in the middle like that, and we're going to put a few curved lines going along there too. I'm just going to let you catch up for a second because I'm probably going a little too fast. We're going to put some bumps on the tail next. There's about 4 bumps from memory, I think. About 4 bumps. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you have any coloured pencils handy too, if you can ask someone maybe to go and get you some coloured pencils or textures, we're going to need them for the end of this drawing to colour it in. So maybe you could ask your personal assistant, if you have one there in the house, to go get you some coloured pencils or textures. There's the legs, and we're going to add some just little lines going down the legs. And next we're going to put on the velocirooster claws. So these are quite easy to draw, yeah. We'll start with this foot here, and we're going to go big kind of sharp banana shape. Another one, and then one pointing backwards. There we go. We'll do the same thing with the other foot. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So there's our feet of our velocirooster. Now let's just put a couple of lines across the bottom to sort of draw some grass. We can just have some little bits of grass coming out here like this, just randomly. And then you can sign your name on it because it's your work. You're the artist here. So I'm going to sign this James Foley. Great. Now, the colors that we need. Let me show you what the colors are that we need. You need yellow. You need orange. You need red. And you need green. So grab these 4 colors if you have them. And we will start coloring this velocirooster in just a second. Yellow. Yellow is the color of the main body because it's basically a chick, a little chicken chick that's been de-evolved and mutated back into a dinosaur. I hope the noise of this pen doing this is not too annoying and loud where you are. I'll tell you a little bit about the beginnings of the story while I'm doing this. Chickensaurus is actually based on a true story. And I'm not joking. I mean, I don't actually have like a chicken dinosaur running around in my backyard. I don't mean that. What I mean is that there are scientists in the world, there are paleontologists who are actually trying to make a Chickensaurus for real. And they've already started and they've already had a little bit of success. Now, the head paleontologist who's in charge of this project, his name is Jack Horner. I'm not making that up. His name actually is Jack Horner. You can find TED Talks from Jack Horner online. And he's got one about the Chickensaurus project. And what he's doing is they're mucking around with the DNA of chickens. Orange is our next color. Orange is the next one. Now, what they're doing with the DNA is they're turning certain genes on and off to make the chicken grow certain dinosaur-like features. So what they're doing, what they've already done, is they've already figured out how to make the beak grow teeth. They've already figured out how to make this inside edge of the beak actually have jagged edges like teeth. They've figured that out, and I'm not joking. You can look it up. It is true. They're also trying to make the Chickensaurus they're not going to have wings like this. They're going to try and make it grow arms instead of wings. So, I mean, the Chickensaurus or a normal chicken already has arms inside the wing. They're just going to make it so that those wings don't grow feathers, I think, and they're going to have claws on the end, which the genes should be able to be turned on and off to reveal these ancient characteristics that their ancestors had. Red is the next color we're going to add. We're going to put it on the crest up the top here. They're also trying to figure out how to make a long tail, a long reptilian tail like this. So in the end, what they're going to have is a small chicken that looks a bit like a dinosaur. Now, I'm really hoping that they don't sort of get loose and take over and, you know, cause chaos and destruction. I'm hoping that at the most, all it will mean is that we can just go to, you know, Red Rooster and get a Chickensaurus snack pack. But who knows? Who knows what's going to happen when they finally reveal their Chickensaurus? Now, green is the last one we need. This green is actually a bit darker than this, but hopefully you've got a light green, and this is for the tail. And we'll add this detail on next. And that is the design of the character. It is super easy. I'm glad I made it quite simple, because when I had to draw lots and lots and lots of them in the book, it made it a bit easier to draw them. If they'd been more complicated, it would have added a month onto my deadline. There's a Velocirooster. Now, I would love to see your Velociroosters as well. If you've got a drawing there of your Velocirooster, what I would really love is if you're able to share it on social media, because we're going to do a little bit of a giveaway here, yeah? So what we're going to do is, if you can share your drawing on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, and you can tag me in at James Foley Books, I'll pick one of the drawings that is shared randomly, and you will win the original drawing that I just made and a signed copy of Chickensaurus. So we'll run it till about, let's say we'll run it till Wednesday. Okay, so you've got a couple of days to watch this broadcast if you're watching it after the fact. Actually, no, let's make it a whole week. Let's make it until next Sunday. Okay, next Sunday. I'll announce the winner next Sunday in 1 week's time. So all you got to do is share your drawing on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook and tag me in at James Foley Books. I can actually see one here that Tim's kids have drawn. Tim, who drew this one?
This is Adelaide. Say hello, Adelaide.
Hi.
So Adelaide, she loved that. She hasn't quite finished the colours because we had to cheat we didn't have the right pencil colours. But this is Addie's Velocirooster so far, which will be coloured very, very shortly. Nice job, Adza.
Fantastic, Adelaide. Great to see you, hey? Thanks for doing that. See you, mate.
See ya.
So if you've got one too, then hopefully you can share it up on socials. Just tag me in so I can see what it is. And if you want to give the book a plug while you're at it, that'd be wonderful if you could. Thank you very much. But yeah, mostly it's just a chance for me to give back to you, to give you an original drawing and a signed book. So that's the competition, yeah? some little comments came up here too. Jules says, furiously taking notes. Jules, you know how to draw stuff. You're amazing. You know what's going on. Lisa Scott says, wow, that's superb. My 7-year-old kept up with your drawing. Very proud of her. I'm proud of her too. Well done, 7-year-old Ms. Scott. I hope you had fun with that. And Michelle says, beautiful work, Adelaide too. It was beautiful, wasn't it? It was fantastic. So that's the giveaway. That's all I've got to tell you about Chickensaurus. It's been a fantastic book to work on, and I really hope you like it. If you want to get a copy, you can get it from a bunch of different places. You can find some links to buy it online at my website, jamesfoley.com.au, which is here. There's a link to Chickensaurus on the homepage, and you can find online links for bookstores. But, I mean, it would be great if you could find your local independent bookshop too and order it from them specifically. So you probably know what that independent bookshop is already, or if you don't, you can go to indies.com.au. You can put in your address and it will tell you what your most closest independent bookshop is. If you're in Victoria, in Melbourne particularly, can I recommend the Little Book Room, who are absolutely incredible. Lisa and the team there are so good, and I actually sent them quite a few signed book plates to go into books, so you could get a signed copy of Chickensaurus from them if you order it on their website, so littlebookroom.com.au, or if you're anywhere else and you want a signed copy, then head to paperback.com.au, which is my closest independent bookshop here in Fremantle. They're fantastic. Jen and the team there are so supportive and wonderful, and I will sign a book personally if you order it from them. You just got to make sure if you order it from Paperbird that you put in the notes section of your order that you want James to sign it and who to. And then I'll sign it for you, and it will get posted out to you as soon as we can. So thank you so much, everybody. Let's move on to another book. Before we do, let's move on. I'm going to change the branding of the background here. I'm going to change the background to something more LENA-like, and I'm going to bring up this one here, the book LENA. LENA is the sequel to My Dead Bunny, as we mentioned, and it is a little bit of a crazy little book. Let's bring up the screen. I'll bring up the cover so you can see. This one is the cover, but this one is My Dead Bunny here. This is the creepy little book that you might be familiar with. It's a strange little story, and there's something weird about LENA is strange too. They're both picture books for older readers. They're both kind of perfect Halloween titles. Yeah, I'm going to read you like a tiny little section of this. I'm not going to read you the whole thing because I don't want to give everything away, but I'm just going to read you a tiny little bit. I'm going to show you a book trailer too. So let's bring out the book trailer, and this will give you a good overview of what the story is about. Okay, that was the book trailer. Let me read you a little bit of this book. On my first day back at school, I met a girl called Lena. Every time she acted mean, she laughed like a hyena. The sound she made was kind of gross, a cackling, giggling howl, starting as a high-pitched shriek and ending as a growl. She did it in the playground and in the classroom too. A kid should only hear that sound when visiting the zoo. She howled when she stuck chewing gum in Jessie's golden hair. She shrieked when she glued Stanley's bum directly to his chair. She dropped some worms down Mia's back, then whooped in great delight. She bit a hole in Billy's pants, which gave us all a fright. I couldn't take it anymore. Her jokes were getting meaner, and so together with my friends, we planned a prank on Lena. That night, we walked to Lena's house and stood outside her room. We dressed like spooky characters and creatures from the tomb. The moon shone bright, the air was still. We started moaning, Lena. LENA. And that's where I'm going to have to end it. I'm not going to read you the whole thing because there's some big twists in this story. And it's written by the wonderful Sigi Cohen, who also wrote My Dead Bunny. Sigi is such a fantastic writer. His stuff is so, so funny, and it's such a joy to illustrate his work. If you want to read the rest, get it from your library, get it from your bookshop, and you can see some more details in the illustrations. Also, My Dead Bunny from the first book is actually hiding in each double-page spread of this story. So there's a little added little feature there too. Once you've read the whole book, you can go back and try and find where Bunny Brad is hiding in the background, stalking everyone like a creepy little bunny that he is. Now, we have a special guest for this little segment too. We have Nat Amoore standing by. Let's bring her in. Nat, of course, is the fantastic best-selling author of Secrets of a Schoolyard Millionaire and The Powers of Positive Pranking, and she's 1/3 of the fantastic One More Page podcast with Kate Simpson and Liz Ledden. Let's cross live to Nat Amoore now. Nat, are you there? Nat, are you? Nat! Nat, are you all right? Nat, what's going on? Nat!
Delicious.
Lena, you're a fictional character. What are you doing? How are you real?
Did you just call me fake?
Well, fictional, but yes, fake. Yes, how are you, what?
Well, I've just finished quite a delicious lunch of Nat Amoore. She was delicious. She tastes like lollies.
Nat, you've eaten Nat?
Yep. I heard she wasn't that great an author anyway. It's fine.
She was fantastic. How could you've taken her away from the Australian community? She had all these other books she was going to produce. What are you, I'm speechless.
But the most important thing is now I've had the most excellent lunch. So really, do we care if there's more books? I mean, the most important book ever written has already been written.
War and Peace?
No, there's something weird about me, Lena.
Ah, well, yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good book, but yeah, I mean, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, this is all just a lot to process. I'm just kind of freaking out. You've eaten my friend.
It's okay, James, because now you can admit you didn't really like her that much anyway, right?
Well, I mean,
be honest.
no, I did like her. I did. She was awesome.
Bit.
But I mean, the silver lining is that she would always boast to her friends in the podcast, Liz and Kate, that she had got an original drawing of My Dead Bunny from me, and that they didn't have one. And I suppose the silver lining is that now Kate and Liz can have that drawing.
Well, no, actually, because I heard that in her will she left it to Jules Faber. So sorry, Kate, it's too bad.
That's amazing. Might I say your outfit is fantastic. I'm incredibly impressed at how well you've translated. You've even got the black boots. You've translated so well to being in the 3D world, and you've got the earrings. Incredible.
One might even say I am the perfect Lena.
So, Lena, did you set up all of this spooky background as well, or is this what happens when you eat someone?
Nat was going to put in a lot of effort before she got eaten.
Right, fantastic. Well, I mean, she has a good mate like that. She often does go a bit over the top with things. It's just such a shame that she's been swallowed and eaten.
Oh well, what are you going to do?
Oh well, what are you going to do?
Just a typical Sunday getting eaten.
Means another opportunity for someone else to get a book published, I guess.
That's right.
And
she
that,
was dominating a bit much, wasn't she? Let's be honest.
And that,
as if we haven't seen enough of Nat Amoore.
Her books are going to sell even better now that she's, there'll be posthumous releases. Let's say Louise has said, what an excellent guest for the launch of LENA. LENA herself. It's brilliant, of course.
Much better than Nat Amoore, huh?
Kat Davey says it's hilarious, but also cannibalism.
Hey,
I mean, what children's book launch? What children's book launch will be complete without some cannibalism? I mean, really.
It's Halloween.
Exactly right. Now, Lena, did you have anything that you would like to say on this special occasion of the release of your book? Is there anything you would like to say? We'll give you a few moments to speak if you prefer.
You're smart, James, but that is an absolutely stupid question. Of course I have something to say. I have a lot to say, mostly about how amazing and wonderful I am. In fact, I'm so amazing and wonderful that I wrote a poem about myself and my own book because clearly I'm wonderful.
That's amazing.
I'm also a very talented poet, so get ready to enjoy it. Are you ready for the true genius that is Lena?
I am ready. I am ready.
Are you sick of books about girls always smiling and worrying about what they will wear? You prefer your girls more naughty and scary? And perhaps would say full body hair? Well, have I got the book just for you? The hero's quite rude and unruly, but there could be no better book idol than the mean and obscene yours truly. Let me introduce a girl like no other. She's brilliant and clever and fun. Hey, someone called me weird. Was that you? Be careful or I'll come butt your bum. The book's full of all of the good stuff, like pranks and worms and butts covered in glue. But remember, if your kids try the things in this book, call James Foley for someone to sue. This is not a cute little story. I like my books badder and meaner. You thought Dead Bunny was cute? Well, that's because you hadn't met Lena. This Halloween when kids come a-calling, steal their candy and tell them to suck it. You instead grab a copy of my book and shove it right into their bucket. If they start to whinge and to cry, warn them to be on alert. Because when it's a full moon outside, I like crying kids for dessert. And now, without further ado, though it really should be all about me, I'll hand you over to that guy that, I don't know, draws stuff. Give it up for Mr. James Foley.
Thank you, Lena. Amazing, amazing. Round of applause for Lena. Fantastic, brilliant work. Amazing, amazing, amazing. That was brilliant. And you've got some fans too. Leanne Sharp says, "Bring back the full body hair."
Yeah, it's all
Definitely.
because of isolation and lockdown. Full body hair is the new black.
Fantastic. Liz Ledden says she loves Lena, perhaps even more than Nat.
Well, I mean, Liz would say that, but I mean, I've heard some pretty wonderful things about Nat as well. Let's just
That's
let's
true.
just put
That's
that
true.
out there.
Michelle and I says, "Awesome work." Lisa Scott says, "Lena is hilarious." Renee Hayward says, "Yay for Lena." Chris Kennett says, "Nat, I mean Lena." Liz Ledden says, "Loving their hair color. Can you keep it for a while?" How long does the orange hair dye last, Lena?
I think we're about to find out when I have a shower right after this. If you see me at my book launch next year and I still have the same color hair, you'll know the answer to that question.
That is dedication. That is dedication to a friend's book launch.
Well,
Lena.
I've been known to overdo it sometimes.
Excellent. I'll have to repay the favor, but I'd have to grow some hair back in order to do it.
You could do your beard.
I could do the beard. I could definitely do the beard. And actually, Lena, this is the best compliment you can have. Sigi, the author of the book, says, "Love the hyena laugh." He is the connoisseur of the hyena laugh. Sigi says it's a good laugh. Excellent. If Sigi approves, then it's all fantastic. It's all good.
Sigi, thank
Now,
you for writing such a wonderful book about me. It's been years and years. I think I've been deserving a solo book, and that stupid Dead Bunny's been getting all the credit. And congratulations for writing about me finally. You're a champ, Sigi.
now, Lena, do you have any other plans today? I mean, now that you've had a feed, are you going to have a nap, or what are you going to do next?
Well, I actually heard a rumor that there's a second person that lives in this house, so I'm feeling like some dessert.
Oh no, don't. I don't even have their number. Can I call Nat's phone and warn them or something?
It smells like French food. Oh, yes, her partner is French. Ah! Jean-Claude Baguette. Ah!
Oh my god. Oh, I'm terrified. I think something awful has happened. Please somebody call for some help, and we'll try and get Nat's remains retrieved from that house of death. Thank you so much to our wonderful guest, Lena. She's absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Now, before we finish up, I'm going to show you how to draw another character. I'm going to show you how to draw Lena this time. So if you've got another sheet of paper and a lead pencil, I'll show you how to draw this character now. Pretty simple again. We'll start with some basic sort of shapes, and we will build up over the top of the basic shapes. So we will start here with the pencil again, and we will start with a balloon shape for Lena's head. Okay, just a balloon shape there. I'll just draw it a bit darker so you can see it. And her body is a triangle shape, like so. And then we just have to add on some legs and feet. Just going to mark out where they're going to go. So I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see a bit easier. Okay, and we've got to put on the arms. And I'm putting kind of little lobster claws on her, not because Lena suddenly goes all Dr. Zoidberg from Futurama on us or anything, but because it's just sort of an easy way to map out where the hands are going to go, because then you can see where the thumb is going to be and where the rest of the hand is going to be. These are quite long arms for Lena, but that's okay. This is just a scribble. All right, now we're going to figure out where the eyes go. They're going to go here, and the ears are going to be pointy ears. And we're going to map out where her mohawk goes as well. Her mohawk is going to come to a point on top of the head here. Looks a bit like a gumnut baby at this point. And we're going to put on her widow's peak too, which is where your hairline comes to a point in the middle of your forehead, like that. Okay, like a classic sort of vampire hairline. And one last thing we've got to map out on this one is just the mullet at the back. Okay, now let's add the detail. You can just go over the top darker with your pencil, or if you have a felt tip pen or anything like that, you can do that instead. We are going to start with the eyes. 2 pupils. And her nose is this funny little sticky uppy nose like this. And her mouth and her tongue come out here. We've got to give her eyebrows, and they're evil eyebrows. I think I've put her face a little low on this drawing here. That's okay. I'll adjust it as we go. Got her ear on this side, an ear on this side, and then she's got a chin underneath. And she's got an earring here and an earring here. Now let's put her hairline on. We'll go across that widow's peak, and then we'll put the top of her hair on too. And if you make it kind of look all sort of spiky, that tends to help really well. And then we can put the mullet on at the back. Okay, we'll put on the V-neck of her dress. The collar is a V-neck, and then we're going to put jagged zigzaggy sleeve over here, and then we're going to put a jagged zigzaggy hem on her dress down here, and we're going to put a zigzag over there too on the other sleeve, and then some dots, big spots on her dress. All right, arms next. Thumb, and then we'll break this part of the hand up into 4 fingers, and same thing over here. Thumb, 4 fingers ish. Yep. And then feet are next, and legs. Actually, we'll do the feet first because we'll do boots on here. I'm going to draw boots around the outline of what was going to be the foot. And with Lena's boots, I don't just shade the whole thing in black. I leave a white reflection on it. So it looks like they're shiny boots. And I'll put her legs on so that her body connects to the boots. And then we're going to shade some bits in. I'm going to use the lead pencil to do shading because this text is a little bit thick. So we're just going to shade in with some diagonal lines. This is called hatching when you do patterns like this. Some hatching on her legs there. And I'm going to put some hatching on her hands too to make them look a little bit darker and dirty, and a little bit on her nose as well to make her nose look a little bit dirty too. Now, if you have those colors with you again, the only one we need for this one is orange. That's the only one we need. And she's got orange hair. And orange dress. And that's it. Lena is not too hard when you know the shape she's made of. And that's basically how I will learn how to draw any of my characters. I'll figure out what shapes they're made of. And that helps me to draw them relatively consistently over and over again throughout the story. I'm actually going to get a little bit of brown here. You don't have to have brown, but I'm just going to get some brown just for the ground. Put some sort of dead grass and stuff around her here. And then we can sign our work and we can label it. This is Lena. And I'll sign it down the bottom here. And you'll sign it with your name because it's your drawing that you're making. You're the artist of your drawing, so you can sign yours. Lena! Lena has been such a fun character to work with. Sigi's story was so well written, so funny, just like Dead Bunny was. They've been a dream to illustrate. So thank you, Sigi. Thank you, sir. Now, just like we did before with the drawing of the Velocirooster, we're going to do another giveaway. So if you would like to win this original drawing of Lena, as well as a signed copy of There's Something Weird About Lena, all you have to do is take your drawing that you've done and share it onto the socials, Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, and tag me in. Okay, so I'm at James Foley Books on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Twitter. So if you share that drawing of Lena on any one of those channels, I will randomly select one of those people who shared their drawing of Lena next Sunday, and I will announce the winner of the original drawing and the signed copy of There's Something Weird About Lena next Sunday. And if you missed it earlier, there's also a giveaway for this original Velocirooster drawing and a signed copy of Chickensaurus, which is the other book we're launching today. You can enter both competitions. If you enter on more than one of the socials, it will count as more than one entry. So the more times you share it, the more chances you have to win this original drawing and these original signed books. So that's the end of that section, everybody. If you wanted to get a copy of There's Something Weird About Lena, Same deal as before with Chickensaurus. So you can go to jamesfoley.com.au and you can find links on the homepage there to There's Something Weird About Lena, and some online links there to see where to buy the book, but also like both books. You'll be able to find links to both of them there. Also, you could try and find your local independent bookshop, because it's really important, especially this year when business and things are struggling. It's important that we support our local independent booksellers. So if you don't know where your local or closest bookshop is, then head to this website, indies.com.au, type your address or your postcode in on the homepage there, right at the top, and you'll be able to search for your local bookstore. But if you're in Victoria, Melbourne particularly, can I recommend littlebookroom.com.au? Lisa and the team are so amazing. And I sent them a whole bunch of signed book plates, so they could hopefully get you a signed copy of either of these books by putting one of those book plates in there for you. And some of those book plates actually have drawings in them as well. So the first bunch of people who order will be lucky enough to get one of those signed and sketched book plates. But if you're somewhere else and you want a signed and sketched book, then head to paperbird.com.au. They're my local independent bookshop here. They're a children's specialist bookshop in Fremantle, and they are amazing. Jen and the team are fantastic. And if you put in the comments field of your order that you want James to sign it and who you want me to sign it to, then I can totally do that for you when you order through paperbird.com.au. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. The last little section too that I wanted to do was I wanted to see if anyone had any questions about this process at all. Does anyone have any questions that I can answer? Who would like to know anything about the process of making these books? Type it in on the Facebook live stream, and it will pop up on my screen here, and then I'll be able to hopefully answer your question as best I can. Does anyone have a question at all? While we're waiting for some questions, we can see Jess Boa says, thanks, James. It's been great watching this today from Heath in Melbourne. G'day, Heath and Jess. I'm so glad that you were able to tune into this, and I really hope that everything gets better really soon for everyone in Melbourne and Victoria as well. So thank you for tuning in. Kat Davey says, fun event and congrats. Thank you, Kat. Thank you for joining us this morning on your Sunday. Very early for you on a Sunday morning in Western Australia, 3 hours behind the rest of the country there. Thank you for joining us. Lisa says, this has been great. My daughter Charlotte and I have really enjoyed this. She's loving the drawings. I'm so glad, Lisa and Charlotte. Thank you so much for joining us. Actually, Lisa says, Charlotte has a question. What is it like to be an author? It's lots of fun. It's a really, really great job. I'm an illustrator too, so being able to do both and control both aspects of a story is really, really fun. But then it's also fun to work for a different author too. Like I've worked with Tim on the Toffel Towers books, and I've worked with Sigi on There's Something Weird About Lena. And sometimes when you work for another author, it takes the pressure off you a little bit. You don't have to come up with all the ideas. You can work with a friend instead, so you can work together in that way. But yeah, it's a fun job. You get lots of freedom. It's really fun to make up stories out of nothing and share them with people and hopefully make them laugh. So it's a great job. It's a great job. Chris Kennett says, are there any more Sally Tinker books in the works? That is a really good question, Chris. I'm recovering mentally and physically from the toll that this one took upon me, this Chickensaurus one. 200 pages, the longest book I've ever done. I am working on another story, but it's not going to be a book. It's a story that's going to be in the school magazine next year. So if you get the school magazine at your school or your house or whatever, from the New South Wales Education Department, they're a great mob there to work with. There'll be another Sally Tinker short story on the back pages, I think, of the issues next year. And it's an underwater adventure this time. They're going to reuse the sub from Gastronauts, and they're going to go underwater in the oceans. And it's going to be a lot of fun to see how they go in that setting. I can't tell you any more because I don't want to give anything away. Michelle says, keep creating and making more books. I will try. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for your support over there in Victoria. I hope that you can get out of lockdown stages very, very soon as well. Everybody, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you've been watching this recording after the fact, then thank you for joining us as well. Last thing to let you know is you can find heaps more information about my books and all that sort of stuff at jamesfoley.com.au. Link is at the bottom there. Thank you, everyone. It's been wonderful. Thank you for your support. Stay well, stay healthy, and we'll see you down the track sometime. Bye. Oh, before we go too, thank you to our special guests. Thank you to Tim Harris. And thank you to Nat Amoore. May she rest in peace. And thank you to LENA as well for her fantastic outfit. Thanks, everybody. Bye.